Good afternoon, and welcome to BeBe's Barbershop Juice, Inspirational Juice. I'm here with Demetrus Coonrod, City Councilman of District 9.
That's
Glad to
right.
have you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, BeBe, for inviting me to come out.
Yes, I'm glad you're here. I guess we'll get right in. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really hyped after that intro you came in. Like, I ain't know we
Okay.
finna start battle rapping or what. Like,
What?
man, I wasn't prepared to start rapping. Like,
Good, good. I love you. Um, so what have you been doing lately?
lately I've just been, the one of the main caretakers of my dad because he's fallen severely ill.
Oh,
And
okay.
just really taking time to for myself to kind of, I done started heavily meditating and just relaxing, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And really, BB, I'm at a point in life to where I understand, like, listen, you got to put some of those bags down
Right,
because it's
right.
not for you to carry everything. It's not meant, you're not the savior of all
Of
things
all,
and all
yes,
people.
yes.
And it's okay that if you can't do it, you just can't
You
do
just can't do it.
it. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right. I
So
agree.
I'm in that space of, listen, just loving myself, loving the people, that I serve, enemies, loving them too, and putting those bags down.
Okay. I like that. I like that.
Yep,
I definitely agree.
yep.
What are your plans for 23, 24?
Ah, I get asked that question a lot.
Okay.
But I am, this is my second term and on city council. I love serving on city council. I love the people that I interact with, which is really my community.
Okay. Okay.
I don't really get hung up on titles. I can care less about that. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because
Okay.
those titles keep people separated.
Right.
And to me, I think we got enough separation going on. And
Right.
I'm Michi
Right.
from the block, from the
Right.
site. You know what I
Nietzsche.
mean?
Right.
And I want people to see me as such and also, understand that I've grown from certain things as
Okay.
Michi.
Okay.
I've matured a lot over the years. And because that time when I first come into the seat, I was real raw. You know what I mean? And sometimes that happened because it's been a lot of trifling stuff that's just been happening that people have not called out and said, listen, we done had enough.
Right.
But I feel as if I'm at a point in time, like it's time for me to move on to the next thing.
Okay.
So my ultimate goal is that I do have plans to run for State House 28,
Okay.
which would be the state district, which encompasses, a lot of the council districts. I'm really excited about it because the
Okay.
things that I'm really
Okay.
passionate about are the things that I fight for every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, you answered that. I was going to ask you, was it any big changes? So,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
gonna be, a big change. A lot of my constituents want me to continue to be on city council.
Mm-hmm.
That's their voice, and I just don't want to be selfish. I mean, I could serve city council, and if I win state house, and do both, but I'm just not the type person that want to monopolize both things. I think
Okay.
that it's opportunity to, for other people to come along and have that opportunity to get their foot into politics. So I'm actively and have been looking for someone to replace me. I would love for it to be a black female
Okay.
for District 9, a
Mm-hmm.
younger, someone younger because we have enough people that are like 70s and 80s and that have served consistently
Have
three,
served.
four
Right.
terms.
Right.
So I would like for somebody else to get in and get that experience in hopes that, they would advance too to the next level.
Okay. Anybody in mind?
I've got a few people in mind, but everybody is just like they don't want to do it.
Really?
It's like,
Wonder
nah.
why not?
And if
Why
I'm
not?
like, listen, to those that don't live in my district, I'm like, hey, just move to District 9, and we'll get you ready and prepared. So I'm still looking if you have anybody, the age limit is just 21.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
at least 21 and been living in the district for a year, then you qualify, right? Once you get those signatures to run. So if it's anybody that that's passionate about it
Mm-hmm.
and wanna get out there and beat the pavement and hear what the constituents have to say, get involved in the community and really want to make some changes policy wise,
Right.
then yeah, that would be, please send them my way.
Okay. I definitely will. What would you like to see happen in Chattanooga?
For Chattanooga, I really would like for us as black people to really unite. We talk about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes around to celebrations of Juneteenth and things like that, or when national things happen like with police brutality and things like that. But we don't really come together after those things happen.
Okay.
Those events that are so isolated that happens, and then we'll say, oh, we need to unite and we need to this. We have all these organizations that are particularly catered for Black people, disadvantaged people, marginalized people, but yet we refuse to actually come together and unite. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll operate in our silos, and we'll be comfortable with that. And well, I'm just going to impact the 10 people that I impact. Well, really, if we all come together and truly come together, we can work on the problem of it. We can put a dent in the problem together, because it's more people that's doing it in our resources. Like, this is a numbers game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we got our resources and our people coming in, the numbers, the people that we are helping, then people are more willing to say, well, let's go over here to XYZ, because now it's a collaboration amongst 20 organizations that's doing
Mm-hmm.
the work and getting it done and making a greater impact in the community. I really, on a big, larger level, BeBe, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
I want us to be independent of
Okay.
ourselves, because we get so caught up politically. If you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, and neither party, we're gonna be honest, neither party does anything for us, right? And the best thing for Black people to do is
Mm-hmm.
for us to be independent in our thinking and build our political power in that way. Because now, whichever one that you identify with, regardless of what role that you play, you have to represent both people, regardless if you're a
Right.
Republican or not,
Okay.
right? And it's so much going on that's just a distraction. And we ultimately, as Black people, we lose out, right? We the front runners of everybody else's campaign, or the things that they want, and we champion right behind them. And when it comes to us, nobody is really championing our fight. Nobody's even talking about the plight of Black people. How we're so behind economically,
Okay.
right? That what we still trying to catch up. And anytime that you do think that you caught up, they're gonna burn it down to where you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
fall back behind again. So those are the kind of things that I wish could happen for Chattanooga.
Okay. It's nice.
Yeah,
Look, you've been really out here working hard, haven't you?
thank you.
Tell everybody, tell my audience what you would like for them to know.
I would like for people to know, I'm not really this mean person. I can be, I got a heart of gold. I'm real passionate about the things that I'm passionate about. Um, and just like any other human, you get frustrated, you get angry, and I
Right.
have those
Right.
times where, don't get me wrong, I will, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it takes a lot. And as a council person, people expect so much and don't really understand that as a council person, it's only so much that you can
You
do,
can do.
right?
Okay.
And if we hear the things and we see the needs that need to be, the things need to be changed within our community. But when you have community members saying, well, I don't want, we only want single family housing, or we need this, we need that, we need that. It
Mm-hmm.
makes it hard to kind of say, well, this community don't want apartments. Well,
Okay.
is it a need for apartments? Yes,
Right.
because everybody don't want single family housing.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I got a tickle. But those are the things that make it hard. And when we talk about police department, we get, excuse me again.
Oh, you okay?
I got a little hot headed. You know how that go.
Look,
But
hey, yeah.
we talk about the police department, but we need our police,
Right.
right? But instead of us talking about defund the police, we should be, which is, I guess that's the buzzword people use. We should talk about building those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to cough again. On
Take your
air.
time. She said, "Oh, air."
Look, excuse me.
No,
Look, can
that's
we
all
take
right.
a commercial real quick?
Okay, we're gonna go to commercial. We'll be right back, you guys. Thank you.
ways that you don't see yourself. The things you talk deep in your mind keeps you from being yourself. Stains from pain that you don't want to see to free yourself. But you're afraid to be in love cause you don't know yourself. I see you in ways that you don't see yourself. The things you talk deep in your mind keeps you from being yourself. Stains from pain that you don't want to see to free yourself. But you're afraid to be in love cause you don't know yourself. Staring at us in an empty mirror. This scene looks oh too familiar. Insecure with the past, I'm from your last. I can see my heart as your repast. Hurt burned into your soul, making our love so cold. Seeking peace through a thought you can't force to unfold. You let us go, you wouldn't let us grow. I should've known, I should've let you go. I see you in ways that you don't see yourself. The things you talk deep in your mind keeps you from being yourself. Stains from pain that you don't want to see to free yourself. But you're afraid to be in love cause you don't know yourself. I see you in ways that you don't see yourself. The things you talk deep in your mind keeps you from being yourself. Stains from pain that you don't want to see to free yourself. But you're afraid to be in love cause you don't know yourself. I see you in ways that you don't see yourself. The things you talk deep in your mind keeps you from being yourself. Stains from pain that you don't want to see to free yourself. But you're afraid to be in love cause you don't know yourself. I see you in ways that you don't see yourself. The things you talk deep in your mind keeps you from being yourself. Stains from pain that you don't want to see to free yourself. But you're afraid to be in love cause you don't know yourself. Staring at us in an empty mirror. This scene looks oh too familiar. Insecure with the past, I'm from your last. I can see my heart as your repast. Hurt burned into your soul, making our love so cold. Seeking peace through a
Y'all do it like that.
Okay, we're back.
We back, y'all. Listen, I promise they ain't trying to take me out. Just gotta
Oh man, you love it.
we all set now.
Okay, you good.
But yeah, but speaking back on that, it's like the things that that we champion for a lot. Like we gotta start not just talking about, what happened, but why it's happening and
Okay.
what we can do to try to fix it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
without our police support, because I'm calling the police.
Right.
It used to be a time where I'm like, I ain't finna call the police. I ain't
Right,
finna,
right.
but I know if I handle this matter on my own,
Mhm.
I'm going to jail.
Mhm.
So what better way? Now, do the police need to show up for every encounter? No, I think, if it's something dealing with mental health, maybe we could get, have some mental health people come out, kind of talk about it and address it,
Mhm.
just thinking about those things. Right now we're in a housing crisis.
Yeah.
Where we need all types of housing. But I'm one too, like if it's people that are homeless and it's growing, the homeless population is growing, is that we gotta figure out what happens to the payees. All the
Right.
people that's getting these people checks for folks and not doing their part to take care of them. Okay,
Mhm.
well, we need to look at you not getting a check. Because if you can't be the caretaker like you signed up to be, it's a problem.
Mhm.
Then we gotta be on the federal people about our veterans. They done serve this country, and then you got them out here on these streets like this and not even taking care of them. Like, I'm dealing with a lot too with them because my dad is a veteran, you
Okay.
know, and it's
Okay.
just a lot of other things that uh, we can as a community champion for.
Okay. All right. The Supreme Court made a decision to reverse the affirmative action. Well, how do you feel about that?
If I is this a space that I could be honest? If I could be totally honest with you, it's some bullshit. It's some bullshit.
Okay.
They all trifling. Like, why would you even do that?
Your
You know
audience
what
over
I'm
here, they
saying? And
clapping.
it's just disheartening, but we still trying to climb out, like, for whatever
Mhm.
reason, because of our skin, no matter if it's a lighter shade or a darker shade, is they don't feel like we deserving of these opportunities. And
Mhm.
we deserve to be able to get into these all white Ivy League institutions just like anybody else do, right?
Okay.
Or anything else that you want to apply affirmative action to, because we wouldn't have to do it if they would have gave it to us or had it on level playing field from the beginning,
From the
right?
beginning.
They brought
Okay.
us over here to help build this country, right? And now you want to say that what we can't do or not, and you already showed us how you destroyed the places that we built up that was strictly for Black people. When we're talking about Greenwood, when we're talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, we built those from our bootstraps, and you bombed us, and you did all this stuff, you
Mhm.
destroyed it, you set it on fire, and now you want to say you reversing something that you automatically already should have been given to
Been
us.
given. Okay.
I could go on and on and on about it, but it's just continue to show us that they're racist,
Mhm.
they're hateful, And the crazy thing about it, BB, if we're going to be honest, all those people up there go through all this nonsense to make sure that we're not advancing, but they the first ones that want to sleep with us. They the first ones that want us to take care of their babies. They the first ones that want us to cook and clean for them. They the first one, you know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
want to use us in that way, but we don't want you to advance no further in the other way. You know what I mean? And to me, we got to stop tolerating that. We just got to take a stand for what it is. Stop accepting it. Stop, when we reading it, we need to send in press releases and statements saying, listen, we stand against this. It's like it's more than just the NAACP doing it. It needs to be everybody, right?
Mhm.
Because some of our Black organizations, we got to really know and understand and feel comfortable with saying they don't really hold truth and stand firm for Black people. And they want to pick and choose on what issues that they gonna speak up about, when really they need to be speaking up about everything that continues to keep us marginalized
Mhm.
and at a disadvantage.
Okay. Yes. What is your biggest challenge as a city council?
My biggest challenge as a city council um is that although we got 4 Black people on city council, and we've had 4 Black people before, is that our council as a whole, we don't recognize our power.
Okay.
And we don't some of us don't understand the collective power that we do hold and what's our true role.
Mm.
Our role is that we don't have to listen to the administration tell us what to do.
Okay.
We can hear what they got to say, but it's ultimately up to us, right? And when we use that power in that way, we can make all kind of changes. That mean with that budget, what's finna funnel into our communities, right? But so many people just want the title of serving on council and not really want to do the work. Do I love my colleagues? Yes.
Mhm.
Do we bump heads when it comes to stuff? Yes. Because for me, I'm pro-Black, and I'ma always be for my Black people and what's for right. Now I admit we got some poor white people too that's trickling in our neighborhoods because they parents, they don't want them no more. They don't want them to come up to the mountains and live high with them because they done got on drugs or they done got the baby with the
Mhm.
Black people. So now you see them in Eastdale, East Chattanooga, and all these other areas, and we become their caretakers, right?
Mhm.
But we got to realize on council what the true fight is and why we wanted to represent these areas. And throughout history, we consistently see that the Black districts are continuing to decline. The Black districts are continuing to be at a disadvantage. The Black communities are the ones that have disinvestment in those communities. The
Mhm.
community, the 4 representatives that are solely Black are lacking. right? We're the ones that's talking about the food apartheid and all this other stuff that's happening in our community. The homeless people, they're coming into our neighborhoods. They're going to other areas too, but majority of them are in our areas.
Mm-hmm.
And our areas are the ones that's real impoverished, right? And because BB, if we gonna be honest, it's because our mindset
Nice.
haven't shifted to not think poverty wise. And when we think that, we continue to attract those things in our community.
Thank you. Yeah, you're definitely very informative. You have any plans to do a massive registration, voters registration drive?
Yeah, I like doing the voter registration thing, but I also like the after effect of let's getting the people to the polls. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Okay.
keeping a collective role and calling the individual saying, listen, we need to get you out to vote. Do you need a ride? You need a bus pass, whatever it is, because it does us no justice to do voter registrations and they register to vote and nobody actually goes and vote. Right. And so I think that Black people in the city of Chattanooga, we're the ones who can make that change to where we could change to get our first Black mayor or whatever the things that happens in our city. We can control it. Why I say that is because they come to us.
Mm-hmm.
They come to us every election like, man, I need to have the vote of the Black people. They understand our power.
Okay.
But Black people, we don't understand our power. And until we do, we're going to continue to get hush puppies. We're going to continue to only get potholes filled. We'll continue to get just the roads paved,
Mm-hmm.
but we're not getting anything else that's substantial that's going to change our communities other than, the news releases that, the crime is high in these communities. Well, it's high because you won't invest in putting lighting in our neighborhood. You won't invest in tearing down these buildings that's eyesores in our community.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. We're not building those relationships with people that are on welfare. That system has destroyed families because you keep your fathers out of the homes. It's just so much that we will have to tackle. But yeah,
Okay.
don't get me on my soapbox.
You have a question. What do you see in the future to help the homeless in Chattanooga?
I think that what will help the homeless people in community in Chattanooga is that connecting them back to their family members. Because I come from a generation where, we all piled up at my
Mhm.
grandmama's house because
Right.
both my parents were addicted to crack cocaine. And what would happen is, is that it'll be so many people in the house, it didn't matter. You was at the end of the bed, I was at the top of the
Right.
bed, somebody was stretched across the middle.
Yes.
And it didn't matter if you pissed on my leg or not. We was together.
Right.
One more break.
We'll be right back with
Can't break a smile, and I'm trying now, but I feel so lonely inside. I wake up all alone, wishing you were in my home. Took all my love, now you're gone. Cold tones, no sorry.
Ooh.
Okay, we're back.
I apologize, y'all. I got this, this sign of stuff going on, and it's horrible.
Okay. I what were you saying? Oh.
Also, with the
Okay.
homeless, the Facebook question from Miss Deborah
Oh
Smoot
yeah, from
is that when I was saying that I come from a time where everybody just piled up at everybody's house, like families stepped in to help people, and to prevent them from being homeless, or if they was homeless. Like I had two uncles that they were heavy drinkers. So they would be, and they come to grandmama's house, or you get over there and you sit down, or everybody else, or the next door neighbor's son or child or whatever. People just took them in. What in the But it's nothing like that family support. Everybody to making sure that your people not homeless, sleeping on the sidewalks, any of that kind of stuff. We got to get to a point where we can talk about healing, right? And talk about those things who have, within families that's keeping people from coming to the family house. We got to get back to allowing family to come, right? Then we got, like I said earlier, we got to hold people accountable that are the payees for the people that's homeless.
Right.
They getting a check, right? And making sure that they're connected to the resources that's needed to make sure that they're getting, what the assistance that they need, whether if it's mental health assistance or if they just out there to be out there, like what's going on that's caused you to be homeless, And so many people are just a paycheck away from being homeless. So if that's knowing that in mind, like let's help you set up a financial plan, a budget. You know what I mean? Things like that, to where if you know that if you missing 5 days of work because you get sick, what's going to happen? You already got a savings account, a backup account that's going to be helpful to prevent you from becoming homeless and things like that.
Okay. What, what would you say the people coming out of prison to restore their life?
Oh man, that's my jam, because I went to prison. Like, everybody I know pretty much done had a time, but they done went to jail or something, and some people just hadn't got caught, and the wrongdoings that they're doing. But for the people that's coming out in prison, one, you gotta have the will to want to change, right? And sometimes that means that you can't go around those same family and friends that you used to hang out with, that that's getting in trouble, because you already know I'm being watched. Whether if I'm on probation or you had that one time you're like, man, I don't want to go back. Well, you got to stay away from the stuff that gonna send you back, right? The government only gonna do so much for you, right? So whatever they do have to offer, just take advantage of whatever those resources are. But ultimately, it's you having that mindset change to do the right thing and not go back. You may have to flip burgers. And sometimes that's hard. If you was a major drug dealer, you making all this money. Now you telling me I got to go work for $10 an hour and flip hamburgers. Well, okay, don't think about it like that. Think about, okay, I'm starting at $10 an hour. I'm going to be the best burger flipper that it is. In 6 months, I may be the shift leader. In a year, they say I'm a bill manager. 2-3 years from now, they gonna say, hey, you gonna be over the whole entire store. Now let's talk about you franchising. All because you started and you took that chance. You build those relationships with people, because you can't get in the mindset of, well, I'm gonna do this, but yeah, I really want to get this Birkin bag, so I'm finna go out here and I'm finna do this and do that. Now we gotta leave that material stuff alone, because that material stuff costs you. And part of that is that BeBe, we get into that mindset of being materialistic, and this stuff keeps us stuck in poverty, right? You know what I mean? So we got to train our minds to think a little differently, but most definitely take advantage of it. I got an organization I started called Rewake, and we help people with that. We do reform, and we focus.
To ask you about that.
Yeah, we focus in a holistic way on the entire family.
Okay.
We take the kid, we work with the parents, we do relationship building, family reunification, all that stuff. We also help out with clemencies, pardons, and things like that, rights restored, because a lot of people come home from prison and they just stop at, I'm out, I got a job.
How does one get in your program?
Yeah. So for me, referral, people can tell them about it. They can hit me up on Facebook.
Okay.
Give me a call. My phone number is 423-314-9897. You can hit the website up, www.re-wake.org. You can send me an email at reformctrl@gmail.com, and get involved, because we don't want people to continue to go to jail. We want to make sure that we getting you what you need, so you won't have to go. And sometimes They just need a little counseling, a little coaching. You know what I mean? They need
Okay.
to vent about the stuff that they going through, and they need somebody to be their cheerleader too. Like, yo, I believe in you. You know what? We
Right.
here for
Right.
you. To keep them from making that one decision to say, I'm finna jump back off the porch.
That's nice. Um, what can we do to help out what you have going on?
Yeah, so how you can help or the community can help, most definitely, if you know anybody that is justice impacted, we work with people. You don't have to just be recently released from prison. If you've ever been, we want to make sure that we're helping your whole house.
Okay.
So you can send people there, spread the word, champion about it, campaign about it, any of that kind of stuff. When it comes to city council, I would love for people to come show up that
Okay.
look like me, to come voice concerns at city council.
Okay.
Email us, give us a phone call. I love when constituents show up, because what I've seen time and time again in the white communities, if it's something that they most definitely don't want, oh, they packing it up, packing the room out. It's gonna be standing room only. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, it's not happening. But we, for whatever reason, we accept whatever comes. And the things we gotta know, the things to fight for. We fight for the wrong things. You
Right.
know what I mean? And
Okay.
it's like we would rather have our communities looking the way that they look as eyesores and criminal activity happen, or what we would be rather accept that than for improvements to happen in our communities. Why? Because we're afraid of the word gentrification. But if we gentrify, which is improving our communities with the people that live in our community, and people come invest in our community that look like us, then we won't have to worry about being afraid. It would be like, yes, welcoming. And if we can have different ideas and a vision for what we would like to see for our community, because right now we keep talking about we need a grocery store in our community in certain areas. But when you think about it, okay, we've had 3-4 grocery stores already in the area that has closed, that has not been successful. So what other model can we do to say that would be great for it? Because Bueller's serviced the whole city of Chattanooga, and that was a small scale store. If we get a small scale store, let's support that store. Or let's look at a market like how they have in Atlanta, California, Charlotte, everywhere else, that it could be sustainable for people to get fresh food. And for me, since I've gotten back into gardening, this agricultural, which is part of our culture, let's get back to creating our own gardens. Let's grow our own vegetables. Let's grow fruit trees. And let's, everybody feed each other on the block, because we don't have to have meat, right? For some reason, when they got food stamps, we felt like we had to all. Oh, well, no, we don't have to have all that. We don't have to have the chickens and all that stuff, that
Right.
whatever that you want to eat, because we can grow our own food, start living, eating it, and living.
Okay. You had a. I didn't know you wrote a book. I didn't know you have a book.
Yeah, I
From
wrote a book. It's
from
called
prison to purpose. It
for
is.
prison to purpose. So it
Yeah.
really just give you a more detailed light, into my life from the time I was born to,
Really.
up until I went to jail, till I ran for city council. And so much of that trauma, you know, that's done happened in people's lives, or even in my lives, like we act out in that trauma. Like
Okay.
people think, wow, she's so angry or so aggressive. And it's like, really, I done had so much shit that's done happened. Like, you don't know. And when we dealing with these kids that's dealing with that same stuff, like they carrying, they're being molested at home. But now they gotta go to school and they gotta perform.
Right.
Or they
Right.
carrying the fact that they hadn't eaten that night, and how once they leave school, they're not getting a meal. So now I'm hungry and I'm not able to eat until lunch, because
Right.
I already came to school after breakfast. Or I'm dealing with,
Right.
domestic violence happening in my home between my parents. Like kids carry that, right? And instead of asking the kids what happened, we automatically be like, what's wrong with you? No, it's what happened to you. You know what I mean? Because if we find out what's happening with people, we can address it appropriately, right? And we're not just putting band-aids over it and saying, okay, well, we took them to the jump park. No, the jump park ain't gonna help
Ain't
this,
gonna
right?
help
This
this. Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need some more hands-on therapy with this kid,
Yes.
because
Yes.
what happens in that childhood, it festers over to adulthood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I had to learn that and really deal with a lot of those things,
Right.
right? So and when COVID hit, it pushed the book.
Mm.
And so for me, when COVID hit, and probably others who've been incarcerated before, they may can't relate to it, is that it pushed me as a reminder of that time. And I'm like, oh, hell
Okay.
no.
Right.
Like, I don't want to be sheltered. I don't want to be told what to do in that kind of way. Like, I want to be around humans. I want
Right.
to see people and, come outside, working out, just different stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I started door dashing. Like, okay,
Okay.
if I door
Okay.
dash, man, I can meet people. I could take them their food. I could be waving at them and like, hey,
Right.
how you doing?
Okay.
Like, that kind of stuff. But which that way I built a lot of relationships with people still.
Okay.
Like, I made a little extra money, which was cool. But the reason for me doing it was so I could see and interact with other people
Interact with other
that I
people.
didn't
Okay.
know,
That's nice.
that, didn't know that I was a council person, but I could have those genuine built relationships just by taking them some food.
Okay. So I want to ask, how did you end up in prison?
Yeah.
It's just
So
like-
I end up in prison with conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery. And what happened is that I allowed somebody to use my car. And they went and robbed a series of places. And because they went across the interstate, that made it federal. Because they went from
Oh.
Tennessee to Georgia.
Okay.
And then they came back and they picked me up from work. Well, for me, they told me, that, and this is why I don't let nobody use my car. I don't care who it is. And you ain't finna get in the car, family, nobody. No. If I
Yes.
know that you with the mess, you can't get in my car. Because that's a chance that I'm gonna take if I'm finna go to jail or not, if you done been on some stuff that I have absolutely nothing
no
about.
idea.
But they lied, told me they was going for a job interview, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another. So because they used my car, they said that I helped aid and abet them, because without my car, they probably wouldn't have been able to go do what they do.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to take that. Now, am I still mad at them for that? Them fools for that? Oh yeah.
Really?
It's like, wait a minute, how do you get me caught up in that mess? You could have asked for a bus token or something. You know what I mean? Now
How long were you there?
So I end up doing 120 months.
Okay.
And part of it was because I already had a criminal background.
Okay.
From putting these hands on folks. And just just terrible, just was horrible. I mean, you know what I mean? Like when you got a nasty attitude like that, and just, I was just a bad person back then.
Okay.
We just gonna be honest. Like I wouldn't have liked Demetri back then. You know what I mean? Like It was just like, why even looking back at my younger self, like you had no guidance.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And part of
that. What made you change? What made you change?
When I went to prison.
Okay.
When I went to prison, BeBe, I knew for certain, like, I ain't going back out being the same Michi that I was when I came in.
Okay.
Like, that ain't happening, because prison, I understood prison wasn't for me. You know what I mean? And then when I went to prison, I had a 1-year-old child that didn't even know who I was. Like, she recognized my voice, but that was it. But by face, she didn't even know who I was. And to hear my kids say, "Are you my mom?" when I came home, or they did something to me, like, oh, no, we most definitely can't go back.
Yeah.
So it took, it wasn't a struggle. Yep. I had to cut out family, friends, all that, because I knew for certain that I didn't want to go back to jail.
Wow. Okay. That's nice. Your contact information. Could you get it to them again before we
so
leave?
anything council related, listen, you can get that for free. And that email is dcoonrod@chattanooga.gov, and my office number is 423-643-7185. You can reach me there at Tuesdays. I'm there. I give you a call back and I respond back to those emails as well. Now, if it's anything related to the work that I do around criminal justice reform, if it's, your clemencies, pardons, any kind of thing, anything that's going to cause me to do heavy research or anything like that, that's a charge. That's not council related, right?
Okay, right.
I want to help as many people as I can, but I don't offer it for free. There are some circumstances that I will help and do it for free. But listen, reach out and let's get this work done. Let's see how we can best assist you and your family to make sure we're positioning you to be the very best that you can be.
Okay. I thank you again for coming.
Yeah. And my time up already. I feel like I need about 10 more minutes.
The website is WPTP101fm.com. The YouTube site is WPTP 100.1 radio. Thank y'all for coming. I see you on Saturday after next.
Y'all have a great day. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, thank you for coming.